Hi guys, Dan Cooper here from Pro Tools Expert, and I've got myself a copy of World Suite by UVI. Now World Suite is an instrument that is absolutely filled to the brim with instruments from around the globe. Now if you can think of an instrument from the furthest corners of the world, then World Suite most likely has it. Just to give you an idea of how big World Suite is, it's an 18GB compressed download, and it takes around another 30GB on your hard drive. Now I've had a good little play around with this, and I've put together a little example track so you can hear what World Suite is all about. I mean, the sounds you can get out of this thing are really, they're just world class, so nice to play, and we've got loads of flexibility within the instrument to shape them further. Now, I'll just give you a very quick overview of some of the instruments to give you an idea of how you can get sounds out of this thing. First, I want to point out, if you are a UVI orchestral suite user, then this will be very familiar to you because it's pretty much the same thing, if I'm honest. It's just a different library. So as I said, each instrument has its own set of controls. As you can see here with this double bass, we can affect timbre, expression, envelope, ADSR, equalizer and reverb. But if we look at other instruments, such as this flute, you'll see that we can affect the performance. And again, depending on the instrument, you're going to have a different amount of sort of key switching that's available. Something I've got to point out, I really like the pitch bend sounds on this. Usually with instruments of this nature, you know, when you play around with the mod wheel and the pitch wheel, it sounds a bit rubbish, but this does a very good job of it. Let me give you an example on the double bass. Sounds great. Same again on the flute. The pitch bend just sounds absolutely brilliant. Now, as you've probably seen on my edit window there, I've got 8 tracks that have been put together with MIDI, and at the bottom there I've got a couple of audio tracks. Now, those audio clips have actually come out of World Suite, and they are the tabla and vocal line. With a little bit of delay on the vocal just to sweeten it. Now this is something I really like about World Suite. There's one thing having access to a load of samples that you can program in yourself. You know, it's great, but the problem with that is if you don't know how to perform those parts, it's going to sound rubbish. So if you get stuck, like I did with this track, I wanted a tabla part, but I didn't quite know how to perform it very well. I looked in the library of loops within World Suite, and I just dragged them out. I got the pitch right for the vocals and I got the tempo right for the tabla, and it was child's play. Now let me just show you how to do that. So we have this loop and phrases section here in the instrument, and I'm going to try and find another drum. Let's go to India, let's go percussions, let's go find another tabla. Acoustic, and you'll see all the loops have tempo information. So this song's at 90. Hit play, gives you an idea of what it is. Let's go for that. Double click. And if this was a different tempo on the song, I could change down here to, say, 100 or whatever the session tempo is. I can adjust the pitch by semitone or by fine. And once I've made my choices, I can just click this out and drag it across to my timeline. But first, you'll notice that this is in stereo. So in Pro Tools, you'd need a stereo audio track for this to drag across to. And if it was a mono loop, it would only show you one line of waveforms, that being mono. You'd need a mono track, and it's just as simple as click, drag, and we have our new loop on the timeline. And this is what I did with the vocals as well. Very easy to do. Now this has over 320 instruments and 8,000 samples. I couldn't possibly go through all of those in a video. It would be here till next year. I've been playing with this for the last day or so, and I've barely scratched the surface. So what are my final thoughts on World Suite by UVI? It's got sounds and textures and all sorts of things going on in it that I never thought I would like, I never thought I would need, but I tell you, I've had such a laugh putting this track together. It breaks the norm. You know, it's not another keyboard instrument, it's not another rigid drum set, it's something very, very different. Now, I know I said earlier that this is an 18 gig download. That doesn't matter. I mean, usually a single piano VI is that big. Now, I've shown you this in the UVI Workstation, the free one. This also does work in UVI's Falcon, if you do wish to get a little bit more tweakability out of the instrument, for want of a better word. I mean, this is something you've just got to try. There's so much in it. Anyway, hope you guys got something from that. I've been Dan from Pro Tools Expert, and I'll catch you next time.